It's Flagler College Baseball on the Peach Belt Conference Network. The Saints look to extend their winning streak against new conference foe USC Beaufort. Hi, everyone, along with our producer, Laurel Plexico. I'm Dave Wenda. Jordan Fauci here along with me. And Jordan, key series, as we talked about a little before we came on the air, the Saints really need to kind of get on a roll if they have any hopes of making the conference tournament.
So as of right now, they're in 10th place in the conference at 4-11. USC Beaufort just ahead of them at 5-13. This is a huge series. You got to try and sweep this team, and then you have another series coming up after that against North Georgia. You want to hope. You're going to need some help here, obviously, from Augusta, who's currently tied for 8th place in the conference with North Georgia. You got to just hope for some a couple good breaks there with those Augusta and North Georgia games, and to just pile on some wins. But they've been hot as of late. The bats are coming back around, which is important.
Yeah, the bats have been there. It's the pitching has been more of an issue, particularly among the starters. We'll see if Gage Voorhees can sort some of that out, the all-conference performer from a year ago. Not having the type of season in 2023 that he had in 2022, but he is still the ace of the staff and the Friday night starter.
It's going to be a huge series here, and look for him to try and attack hitters early. A lot of the troubles that this pitching staff has been due to walks. They're not really getting and attacking the zone like they have in prior years, but expect to see Gage really attack these hitters.
Well, here's the leadoff hitter for the Sand Sharks of USC Beaufort. It's the right fielder, Hunter Miller. Miller, lefty. Batting .351 coming in. Couple of home runs, 26 runs batted in. Shows bunt and pulls it back, takes ball one.
Miller currently in the top 10 in the PBC in batting average with that .351 average. He's in 8th place, right ahead of two Flagler regular starters, Mason Gray and Jaden Ward.
And Mason Gray, if you haven't heard, is done for the season with a hand injury. Suffered on a swing. And this one, a little slow roller to the new shortstop, Donovan Garcia, and he makes the play look easy.
It's that hamite bone right at the base of the hand. About that. It happens so often to a lot of guys on that bottom hand when you're swinging constantly. Just a lot of wear and tear on that particular bone. It's about a 6-week recovery time, so shut him down for the season. He'll be back for next year. But he had a solid season.
Yeah, he was having a great season, right? Leading the club in batting average at .347. This is Jacob Anderson, the left fielder. And he's behind 0-2. That one stays outside. Ball one, trying to get Anderson to chase. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Sharply hit to Jaden Ward at third. Plays the short hop. And there are two gone here in the first inning. Beautiful day here in St. Augustine in the low 70s. And the wind blowing in at, 17 miles an hour, I believe, our SID John Jordan told me. So a place that's tough to hit balls out of anyway will be even tougher today.
Gotta love that as a pitcher, getting that heavy wind coming in from the outfield. Keep balls, even if you get them up in the air, they're gonna die out there, which can help you out a lot.
This is Aiden Driscoll-Sadusky, first baseman. And the count is even, 1-1 strike. That one stays outside, ball two. Voorhees, 0-2 on the season. This is his 8th start. That's a 4.26 earned run average. Struck out 35 in about 50 innings of work. Here's the 2-1. And that's outside as well.
Really squeezing him on that outside corner. Voorhees trying to establish that, get a lot of weak contact rollovers in the infield. He comes right back. That was a beautiful slider right at the back foot.
And the count is run full. Our umpires today, Michael Parnell is behind the plate. Luke Horn is at first. And Keith Atkinson is at third. Here's the payoff. in there for strike three. 3 up and 3 down. Voorhees looks sharp early for Flagler. Done with school, right? Oh, I thought you graduated in December.
I had my portfolio class, which is kind of just like class to do a big presentation.
Oh.
Some of my work, so I just had to avoid taking one.
Oh, that's it? Yeah. Oh, nice.
And I moved back up to Boston.
Oh, yeah?
My lease is up May 20th.
Oh.
Packing everything up and then going back up north.
Oh, nice.
We talked to a couple of connections I have over at Endicott College.
Okay.
In Beverly. I think I'm going to see if I can do some of their broadcasts.
Oh, wonderful.
Next year while I'm just working. I have a connection with Fox 25 News as well. See if I can get a job over there. Some grunt work. For the
Sure.
team.
That's a good way to get in.
I think my last broadcast baseball.
Oh, of April? Well, that's the last one anyway.
There's going to be a home playoff game.
Doesn't look like it.
Doesn't really look like it.
Only the top 2 seeds will host.
Yeah.
Top 2 seeds host or 4? Aren't there 8 get in?
8 get in, but it's like a regional.
Oh, is it really?
So 1, 4, 5, and 8 will be at 1. Then 2, 3, 6, and 7 will be at 2.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, nice. Okay. And welcome back. Bottom of the first inning. And leading off for the Saints, it'll be the right fielder, Sims Owens. Saints are facing Brandon Bloom, a big right-hander. Bloom goes right to work. First pitch swinging, and it's stabbed by the first baseman, Driscoll Sadusky, and a slick defensive play to start the inning.
You love that as a pitcher. Bloom getting help from his first baseman early because that, with the speed of Owens, leadoff single could cause some problems here, but that's just one heck of a play there for Driscoll Sadusky.
This is Trey Newland, the center fielder. And he swings at the first pitch, fouls it out of play. The 0-1, and that's in for a strike. Newland hitting .284, has 4 doubles. He's driven in 16 on the season. Facing the 0-2 pitch. Lays off that one high. Fouled off. Saints 8-21 overall, 4-11 on the year. The Sand Sharks are 12-18 on the season, 5-13 in the PBC, and they're the team immediately ahead of the Saints in the standings. Ground ball. Busy inning for Driscoll Sadusky, and there are 2 away. And that brings up the shortstop, Donovan Garcia. Back at the position he played most of his freshman campaign in 2 seasons ago. He was all PBC first team as a true freshman. Last year played more in the right field, or in the outfield, usually a right fielder, with the emergence of Mason Gray at short, but now Gray gone for the year. So they have the luxury of moving Garcia back there.
Garcia coming off fantastic last couple of weeks. Just 2 weeks ago, actually, he was selected as Peach Belt Conference Player of the Week. Was batting like .481 during that span.
Grounds out here. That ends the first. Still no score. Okay. Oh gosh! And now then they probably had to add South Carolina. Oh. Oh, okay. And welcome back. Top of the second inning, no score. It will be Josh Patterson, Jake Tanner, and Julian Galassi for the Sand Sharks. If you're asking yourself, who is this USC Beaufort team? They are new to the Peach Belt Conference. I had to look it up myself. They're making the transition from the NAIA ranks to the D2 level, much as Flagler did a number of years ago. And here's a ground ball through the hole for a base hit. And it's the first base runner of the game in the form of Josh Patterson. Beaufort as a school has been around, according to their website, a couple of 100 years, but until very recently they were a 2-year school. Now a full-fledged 4-year institution, state school. This one's popped up. Tough play, and this will get out of play, and Taylor Clapp did all he could just to keep an eye on that ball.
Especially with the sun out here. Expect anything hit really to center field or to the right side of the field. Going to be difficult. We've seen a couple balls already this year getting lost in the sun by outfielders, not only for the Saints, but for opposing teams as well. Tough sun out here at Drysdale.
Jake Tanner steps in with the man aboard. Yeah, notice how bright it was getting out of the car on my walk in. Almost a cloudless sky here in St. Augustine. There's a swing and a miss. And Tanner is retired via the strikeout. Second K of the game for Voorhees.
Voorhees getting that slider working real nice, especially to right-handed batters. That thing moves so far away from you, and he pairs it well with some arm side run with his fastball. So it's really just the tunneling of that pitch makes it a nightmare for opposing batters.
This is Julian Galassi, the center fielder. And that's pumped in for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ground ball right to Matthew Burke. Could be 2. There's 1. The relay not in time, a fielder's choice, but it erases the lead runner. And there are 2 gone here in the second.
positives and the negatives, really weak contact so far. Voorhees promoting a lot of weak contact, changing up speeds well, but the problem with that is you roll up a nice double play ball. Doesn't quite have the legs to get there to turn two.
This is Wesley Ambrose, the second baseman. First pitch swinging, and the wind will carry that out of play. USC Aiken leading the conference, bit of a surprise. Columbus State a close second, and Georgia College is tucked in there just a couple games back in third. Then it's Young Harris and Georgia Southwestern tied for fourth at 12-6 in the league. Check on the runner. That was pretty close.
Great move there from Voorhees. Nearly caught him with his pants down there at first, but just able to get back in time.
Another foul ball. This one will drift out of play.
Really, the bottom three teams in the conference all stacked up. Lander at 9-8, North Georgia at 8-10, and Augusta at 8-11. By the end of the season, that has to even out in terms of games played within the conference. So the Saints with an opportunity to potentially get all the way up to that 6th seed if they can really turn it on here in the late half.
Voorhees with the strikeout to end the inning, so the Sand Sharks get a single, but they leave a runner. Still no score as we head to the bottom of the second. I'd love to see college baseball go to the pitch clock. Watching opening day. Oh, so nice. Oh, yeah. First, Evans didn't strike out on it. Oh, did he really? Yeah, first one to go down. Wow. Yeah, doing the spring training, the 6 games flew by. And welcome back. Bottom of the second inning for the Saints. It'll be Matthew Burke, Jaden Ward, and Taylor Clapp, 4, 5, and 6. First pitch popped into right field. Drifting over is Miller, and he'll make the catch. You can see how much the wind is in play here. The ball really got pushed, and Miller just hung with it, but definitely a factor as it's blowing in hard from out the outfield.
Oh, yeah, you see that. Just how the guys are tracking the ball. They're not making direct lines to it. They're kind of just following because the wind's just playing with it so much when it gets up in the air.
This is Jaden Ward, third baseman, having himself a good season again. 342 is his average. A home run, 15 RBIs. Saints are hitting better this season as a club. 273 is the team batting average.
Ward just had got up to 13-game hitting streak broken this past weekend. I believe the first game of the 2-game set, or the 3-game set with Augusta, but then he came right back. I want to say had a 5-hit game just following that in the second half of the doubleheader.
Wow.
So, seeing the ball really well.
Sounds like. It's ahead here 3-1, and he'll work the walk. So the Saints have their first base runner in the form of Jaden Ward, and that brings up Taylor Clapp.
Now batting the first baseman, number 15, Taylor Clapp.
Clapp hitting .223. He has homered, driven in 18.
On the wrong side.
Seeing the ball a bit better as of late. He was kind of hanging around in the early part of the season with like a 1.58 batting average, but has gotten that back up above the Mendoza line. Starting to see a bit more pop out of his bat as well, hitting for some extra bases.
And talking to Dave Barnett, the head coach here at Flagler, he said they expected Clapp to be their best hitter coming out of the fall. And a big swing and a miss, and he's behind 0-2, and then was just in that sustained slump at the start of the season. And he said he is starting to get more into a groove hitting-wise. 0-2. Fly ball to center. Drifting back is Galassi, and there are 2 away. It brings up Ashton Thomas, the designated hitter.
Now batting, the designated hitter. Number 21.
Thomas having a down year as compared to the last couple. Only a 1.74 batting average. Does still have the pop, though. 2 homers on the season, which is tied for the lead on this Flagler College team.
First pitch, grounded a foul. Saints don't hit a lot of home runs. They didn't a season ago either. Just 9 homers on the season, and their opponents have hit 23 to put it in perspective. Long pause from Bloom, finally ready for the 0-1, and it's in there for a strike. Thomas looks like a guy who, could hit the cover off the ball.
Yeah, just a really, really big, imposing figure in that left-handed batter's box. Free swinging, and for the last season it worked out fantastic for him. Just this year, inconsistent at the plate, swinging at a lot of balls, which has been a problem not only for him but for a lot of this Flagler team. Not really working counts as well as they did a season prior. But starting to turn things around here as of late, as we've been saying. And he'd be a big part of that if you could just start really working counts and hitting the ball. Because when he makes contact, he hits the ball harder than anyone on this team.
Yeah, he led the club last year with 33 runs batted in, also hit .312. And another foul ball. This will drift out of play. Got on base at a .380 clip a season ago. Started 47 of the 49 games played.
Played a lot in the outfield last year. I don't think we've seen him in the field. That can sometimes play a factor in a guy.
That's a good point.
It's hard to really get up to bat when you're just sitting for half of the game, really. You only get 3-4 at-bats a game. And you're not in the field, kind of hard mentally to just get yourself up into that box and stay focused.
Good point. Yeah, he's kind of platooned, if you will, or shifted between first base and left field for much of last season. And he looks at a ball down in the dirt, or in the dirt-colored turf at home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Ward is at first. And a good at bat as he spoils another one. Flagler fans, if you want to support all Flagler athletic teams, join the Saints Club. Visit flaglerathletics.com and click on the Saints Club link for details. So we'll do it again at 2-2. That one up and in, and the count is full.
Great AB here from Thomas, fighting off a lot of pitches, able to get himself back ahead in the count now. And he gives the opportunity for Ward to take off here from first.
And this one lined to left, but right at the left fielder, Anderson, who shades his eyes and makes the catch to end the inning. We head to the third, still scoreless. And welcome back. Top of the third of a pitcher's duel. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Sand Sharks. Hunter McCown, Brooks Dawson, and Hunter Miller. First up, McCown. First pitch strike from Voorhees. Well, we're 2+ innings in now. What are you seeing from the Saints starter?
He's getting ahead in counts. Said at the beginning of the game that the Saints have struggled really, and a lot of first pitch balls have caused problems, but he's attacking every single one of these hitters and really putting the pressure on them to execute at the plate instead of him having to execute pitches when he's behind in the count.
Here's the 0-2. Ground ball to Ward. Hesitates a little bit, but the strong arm, no problem in recording the out. This is Brooks Dawson, the catcher. And a first pitch strike.
Dawson at 333 on the year. Hasn't played all that much. This is only his third start of the year for the freshman backstop. Finds himself behind 0-2 now.
Yeah, Voorhees is dealing. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that one fouled into the screen.
Yeah, we're going to have catcher's interference here soon. You want to put that on there as well?
That one outside, blocked by the catcher Griffin Garcia, brother of Donovan. Out of the Tampa area, the Garcias are. There's the 1-2. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, talking to Dave Barnett, the goal, as we've talked a little bit here, and Jordan's kind of laid it out for you, is to get into the tournament, the Peach Belt Conference tournament. And that's the top 8 teams. And there's a swing and a miss, another strikeout for Voorhees. That's his 4th. And there are 2 down as we head back to the top of the order, and Hunter Miller. So the Saints currently in 10th. Need to leapfrog a couple of teams. They took 2 of 3 at Augusta last weekend, and Coach was really hoping to get all 3 up there, but 2 out of 3 on the road in the PBC is pretty good. He'd love to see a sweep this weekend. And Claflin is always sweepable. That'll come up in late April of the last Peach Belt Conference home series. Claflin has not won a Peach Belt Conference game this year. Count is 2-1 to Miller, who grounded out his first time. Along the way, you need to do well against the North Georgias and the Landers. North Georgia on the road, Lander here at Drysdale.
Lander just lost 2 in a doubleheader today against Augusta. Lost both games by the same score, actually, 12-7 on both of those as they go final.
Wow. Little grounder to first, and it's another easy inning for Voorhees, who's been shutting out the Sand Sharks through 3. I was thinking you were going to sing along with the backing track. And welcome back. Bottom of the third. No score. Leading off the inning is Tim Kudlinski, a left fielder. Kudlinski is one of three Saints over 300 in terms of average. He's hitting 301. Quickly in the hole, 0-2 here. No home runs, just 4 runs batted in. Ground ball to second, ranging to his left, and throwing to the pitcher is the second baseman, Wesley Ambrose. That brings up the catcher, Griffin Garcia. Garcia shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a ball. Garcia making his 17th start of the season.
Parking not very far away.
Here's the 1-1. And it's a high strike.
That tree branches sheltering me a little bit.
And this one's foul.
Thought it could have just snuck in there, but just drifted a bit too far.
I don't know if that was wind necessarily. It was just sort of a hook.
Just kind of hooked it.
Yeah.
It's like my golf drive.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, you were here.
There's a 1-2.
He cheated all the players.
Strike 3 called. And Garcia is retired. 2 gone here in the inning. Bloom's been good too. We talked about Voorhees, but Brandon Bloom has not allowed a hit.
Bloom with some sneaky cheese right there just froze Garcia on a fastball right down Broadway. Overpowering pitch there from the right-hander.
I was a little upset with the scoreboard.
Bloom 2-3 on the year, a 4.84 earned run average. This is his 9th start. In fact, all his appearances have been starts. And that's what you'd expect from a Friday night starter in college baseball. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball right up the middle, and there's the first hit of the game. It belongs to Sims Owens. And the Saints have a base runner here with 2 outs.
I'm going to credit you for that. As soon as you bring up that he had no out.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you bring it up, it's like...
I know you're not supposed to talk about no hits, but if it helps the Saints get a runner, I don't mind spoiling Bloom's no-hit vid.
I don't blame you for that one. Saints have a base runner and one of the better base stealers on this team in Sims Owens.
Now, that's been kind of the strategy building this roster for Dave Barnett and his staff is to look for more speed, more opportunities to steal. And here's another example of that, Trey Newland. And Owens breaks, and the pitch is off the glove. It is a stolen base for Owens. And now a runner in scoring position just like that.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the Saints run consistently. Have a freshman behind the plate in Brooks Dawson, not seeing a lot out of his arm, at least in these warm-ups going down to second. Not saying that he has a weak arm by any stretch, but the Saints team is quick and does like to get frisky on the base path, so I wouldn't be surprised if Barnett gave a lot of green lights here today.
Right. Now, in this situation, you probably don't steal since you're already in scoring position, 2 outs. Don't want to make the third out at third base.
And you have the top of your lineup up right now. Newland, one of your better hitters, so definitely not going to try and make an out there at third. Plus, Owens has the speed to score.
Right, right. On a typical base hit, he should score. Huh.
That was less of a check on the runner there and more just probably didn't feel comfortable in that wind or from the stretch there.
Lined right at the shortstop, and the inning is over. But the Saints have their first hit of the day. Still no runs on the board as we head to the fourth. And welcome back to Saints Baseball. Here with the play-by-play is Jordan Fauci.
We're going to have 2-3-4 in the way of Jacob Anderson, Aiden Driscoll-Sadusky, and Josh Patterson due here for the Sand Sharks. Voorhees having himself quite the outing thus far. Both pitchers really dominating these opposing batters to start things off here. Each team with one hit. Dave, what have you seen here from Voorhees that's really allowed him to just get out here?
Well, I mean, you talked about it getting ahead in counts, and here he is again, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think he's also kind of working quickly. He looks like he's comfortable out there and gets ready to throw the pitch and comes set, and not giving the hitters a lot of time to think about what they might be seeing next in the box.
2-2 on the way here from the right-hander. This one's going to be flared out into left. Should be quick work for Kladinsky. And that will retire the first one of the inning here. It's going to bring up Aiden Driscoll-Sadusky, the junior first baseman, who earlier in this game was flashing the leather over at first.
Oh, right. Yeah, a couple of nice defensive plays. Won a diving stop on what looked to be a hit.
First pitch here from Voorhees, missing low and away for ball 1.
So Voorhees, the senior, started 14 games a year ago, went 7-2 with a 3.41 ERA. First team all Peach Belt Conference
this one
selection.
Grounded to Burke at second, on to first in time. 2 up and 2 down as Voorhees continues to just mow down these Beaufort batters.
I think his strikeout number's not quite on par with what he was last year. It's 35 strikeouts and 50 2/3 coming in. A year ago, Voorhees had 90 strikeouts and 95 innings pitched. So closer to an inning, or strikeout an inning a season ago.
Voorhees also top 5 in the Peach Belt Conference terms, just total innings pitched this year. Been a workhorse for the Saints and has a lot of miles on that arm through his career here at Flagler.
Right, and a couple of other stops. I think, what was it, Cedarhurst College or University, and also at JC along the way. I think he started at the 4-year school, Cedarville University, and then transferred to junior college for the 2020 pandemic-shortened season, and now in his third season here with the Saints.
Spent some time with the Savannah Bananas in the offseason as well.
Oh, awesome.
And that will be a pair of shoes, the second in the closet for Gage Voorhees, as he'll get Tanner down looking. 3 up and 3 down for USC Beaufort Saints. Due to bat here in the bottom half of the fourth. And we are back now for the bottom half of the fourth inning. We're still tied up at 0. Saints were able to get their first hit of the game in the prior inning. It will be the heart of this Saints order, 3-4-5, and this will bring up Donovan Garcia to the plate for the Saints. Garcia with one of the better mustaches on the Saints team as well.
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
He'll show bunt, but pull it back as that one's going to be a called strike. Saints doing a good job in the facial hair department this year compared to last year, something that they've worked on extensively in the offseason.
Now, meanwhile, I'm not sure what's going on with your facial hair. It's sort of a little all over the place.
They'll be grounded to short. Throwing to first will be in time. A standard 6-3 ground out there. Hunter McCown showing off the arm. Absolute rocket over from short. But yeah, no, there's facial hair here all over the place. It's been a rough week, senior season or senior year for me.
Right, you've got a lot of things to worry about. Yeah,
facial hair is kind of taking a step back here, and this will bring up Matthew Burke here for the Saints. Burke, 0 for 1 on the day, popped out to right field in his first at-bat. The junior's batting .253 on the season, leads the Peach Belt Conference in hit by pitch this year. He's been hit 19 times this season. Some guys just have a knack for it, Dave. We've seen through his entire career here.
You know, it doesn't surprise me either with Matthew Burke. He just seems like he'll do anything to help win.
And he'll drive that one right back up the middle. Saints will have a runner on first with 1 down here, and bringing up what's been the best bat so far this season for the Saints in the third baseman, Jaden Ward.
Yeah, Jaden Ward, another veteran presence. You know, he solidified himself over at the hot corner. He's had to, you know, deal with some other guys coming in trying to take that position away, and he just always seems to, you know, figure it out. And he's very solid defensively, and as you said, very good at the plate as well.
Hey, early in his career, I remember he struggled with the glove, but he's really taken it on himself to improve defensively for the Saints. We've seen that, especially this season, just some of the plays that he's been able to make at the hot corners. Reaction time has been fantastic. Be behind here, 0-1. Maybe we'll drop that one in on the outer half of the strike zone. Ward finds himself behind now, 0-2.
Little secondary break there from Burke at first, kind of bluffing the steal attempt. But he's got a healthy lead there, and you talked about Dave Barnett and trying to be aggressive on the base pass, and now I think the Sand Sharks are kind of wise to it, and they'll check on him.
Burke on the year has only stolen 1 base this year. We saw him last year. Can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but he stole definitely more than just 1. He was getting active out there. Not quite as much this season, but wouldn't be surprised to see him take off, as Ward will watch a ball in the dirt on the outer half there. Count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the Saints' third baseman.
Not that way, kid.
Burke Ward squibbing that one off the end of the bag. Foot race to first is won by the pitcher Bloom. It'll be 2 down now, with Taylor Clapp stepping up to the dish and Matthew Burke at second.
Well, that was a really close play at first. Jaden Ward hustling down the line, and Bloom a little late, I think, in his reaction. I think he got crossed up between either fielding that ball or covering the bag, and when he realized the first baseman was going to take it, a little slow getting there, but he did get there in time.
First pitch in for a called strike here to Clapp. But one of the things, especially in pitcher fielding practice, you don't usually just out on the mound with only pitchers. There's no one else on the field when you're going through that. So that can be a tricky play there, especially with the first baseman coming in to take that one. But good on Bloom to get back to first in time. Clapp's going to fight that one off of his hands. He'll fall behind now 0-2. Clapp leading the Saints with 18 RBIs on the season. His bat's gotten hot as of late. He's 0 for 1 on the day, however, as he'll watch a high strike from Bloom. The 1-2. Breaking ball called, third strike on the outside corner, as the Saints will strand a runner at second and will head to the top of the 5th, still tied at 0. It's going to be Tanner, Gillespie, and Ambrose due to bat here in the top half of the 5th inning. We're in the midst of a pitching battle here. Gage Voorhees and Brandon Bloom both really working through these opposing lineups. That one is going to be grounded to Burke at second, throwing to first. Will be in time, 1 pitch and 1 out for Gage Voorhees. It's going to bring up the center fielder, Julian Gillespie. Gillespie on the day 0 for 1.
51 pitches.
Wow. Just 51 pitches so far for Voorhees through 4 1/3. Very efficient.
See Ward playing in on the artificial grass here at third. The speed of Gillespie and a possible bunt situation here. As that's going to miss inside. Count's going to be even now at 1-1. Gillespie going to pop this one up into the stands here behind home plate. Behind now, 1-2 in the count. Voorhees looking for his 6th strikeout of the game here as he delivers the 1-2. One in the dirt through the legs of Griffin Garcia.
Talking about Voorhees maybe not having the same season he had a year ago, and that's true. But he hasn't gotten a lot of run support necessarily in the games that he's pitched. And then the times he has gotten run support are some of the days that he's had a tough outing.
This one's going to be flared down the line in left. Well, just drifting foul, count will be 2-2. But as you were saying, Dave, yeah, it's been tough here. He's only 0-2 on the year in 7 starts, which shows a lot of notice. It's not
right.
His record is by no means a indication of how he's pitched on the year. The 2-2. This one's going to be chopped over to the shortstop, Garcia. Throw on to first is just in time. A nice play there from the Saints shortstop, Donovan Garcia.
Yeah, and a nice stretch as well with Taylor Clapp on the business end at first, holding the bag on a close play and using the reach there to make the out.
This will bring up Wesley Ambrose, the senior second baseman. Finds himself 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout as he watches the first pitch strike here from Voorhees. This one chopped to the second baseman, Burke. 3 up and 3 down. Voorhees continues to just mow down these Beaufort batters as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning here at Drysdale Field.
Yep.
Tennis coach there.
Tennis coach. Wow.
It'll be Ashton Thomas, Tim Kladinsky, and Griffin Garcia do the bottom of the lineup, set to face Brandon Bloom, who's had himself quite the outing so far, only allowing 2 hits through 4 innings of work thus far. Thomas swinging at the first pitch will drive this one into left field. Should be easy work for the left fielder, Jacob Anderson, as he'll make the catch. This will bring up Tim Kladinsky, the left fielder. Batting .301 on the season, finds himself 0 for 1 on the day. Both pitchers so far very economical in their outings. Voorhees through 5 innings has only thrown 59 pitches. Not quite as stout numbers for Bloom, however, through 4 1/3, only 50 pitches as he's ahead in the count to Kladinsky, 0-2. Payoff pitch on the way. This one squibbed off the end of the bat into shallow left. The shortstop making a nice catch over his shoulder. That's Hunter McCown picking up Bloom, the pitcher. 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah, I'm not sure the left fielder Anderson was going to make it to that ball, and I think the McCown realized that. A long run, and then kind of working with the wind or against the wind there, and made the nice over-the-shoulder catch, and then dove afterwards.
Griffin Garcia showing bunt here, but we'll pull it back as that one misses outside. Wind really blowing in. If you look out in center field, you see that American flag He's pointing just back at us here in the press box behind home plate. Garcia's going to fight this one off. Third baseman ranging over, bobbles it a couple of times, and Garcia will reach first with 2 down, as that will go down in the books as an error on the third baseman, Jake Tanner.
Well, the Saints will take it. They haven't had a lot of base runners, just 2 hits on the day, and now they get a runner via the error. They've also had 1 walk, excuse me.
This will be the leadoff man for the Saints, Sims Owens. Garcia's going to take off here. Strong throw down to second, but Garcia just able to beat that one out. Garcia got a good jump there from first.
Yeah, and if you're the opposing team, you're not necessarily thinking, hey, the catcher's going to steal a base on us, especially the first pitch of the ensuing at-bat after he reaches on the error. Garcia showing some athleticism.
Saints catching him by surprise there. Owens behind the count, 0-1. He'll ground this one over to short. Going to be a tough play with the speed, and Owens will reach on the infield single. Saints will have runners at the corners in a big spot here for the junior center fielder, Trey Newland.
Yeah, Saints love to jump ahead here and see if they can get some clutch hitting out of their center fielder with runners at the corners.
Newland on the year, 16 RBIs, has 4 doubles. Finds himself coming into the day with a .284 batting average. 0 for 2 thus far, but he'll watch a ball right in on the thighs there. Be heading the count now 1-0. But you can see how quickly, Dave, something that should have been a routine play over at third can turn into a tough situation, as Bloom's going to check on the runner at first and Owens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if Tanner makes that play instead of bobbling the ball, then they're out of the inning.
Owens with the sizable lead, and he'll take off. They're going to check on the runner at third, and Garcia, that one nearly found its way into the outfield. An athletic play there from Tanner to come off the bag and make a catch on that errant throw. But the Saints now with 2 ducks on the pond for their center fielder and a 2-0 count to Newland. Newland back up the middle. They're going to send Owens from third. And the Saints, with a 2 RBI single from Trey Newland, will jump ahead here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Beautiful piece of hitting, 2 outs. Just stays with it, didn't swing too hard, just puts the bat on the ball, lines it or grounds it right back up the middle, and with his speed, even if they're able to knock that down behind second base, it still could have been an infield hit. But since it gets through, 2 runs scored instead of 1, and the Saints have the lead.
And Garcia up to bat here, finds himself 0 for 2 on the day. A sizable lead as Newland is going to get thrown out. And that will do it here for the bottom of the 5th inning. Do it here for the 5th inning as a total. Saints lead 2-0 as Trey Newland with a 2 RBI single gives the Saints the 2-0 advantage. Saints with a 2-0 lead here as we enter the top of the 6th inning. It will be Hunter McCown and Brooks Dawson, and then back to the top of the lineup in Hunter Miller as Gage Voorhees looks for a shutdown inning for the Saints as Saints were able to put together some hits, 2 unearned runs in the bottom half of the 5th.
Yeah, it was good and bad there. I mean, Newland gets picked off to end the inning. I'm sure that didn't sit well with Coach Barnett. But, it was hard to fault a guy after he's just driven in the 2 runs in the ball game with a clutch 2-out base knock.
Voorhees behind in the count here, 0-2. You see Hunter McCown showing bunt there on the last one as he'll ground this one to the first baseman, Clapp. Voorhees getting over to cover. He'll be there in time, and there's one away here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, Jordan, I want to clarify something we said earlier in the broadcast. We're talking about getting into the final 8, and John Jordan pointed out that even though Beaufort is ahead of us in the standings, they're 9th, the Saints are 10th. Beaufort not eligible for the postseason as they're transitioning into D2, so they're not a full-fledged member yet. So these are conference games that count. The Saints are technically in 9th, if you will, in terms of how it pairs or how it shakes out for the conference tournament. So they need to leapfrog. It would be Augusta would be the next team that they would need to jump in order to get into that 8th and final spot.
So technically they're in 9th place because Beaufort ineligible for the postseason play. We saw that actually in March Madness. Fairlife Dickerson, the 16 seed, was technically not supposed to make the tournament, with Merrimack College being the first place team in that conference. This one's going to be drifted into right field. Owen's able to drift over and make the catch for the second out of the inning. But I forgot about that. I believe first season in conference in the NCAA, you're not eligible for postseason play, even if you move up or down or come into the conference, obviously, in Beaufort's case.
Right.
Or the division, my mistake. If you move up or down in a division or just essentially enter a new division, you're not eligible for postseason play in that following season. Voorhees taking down the first 2 here in the inning. Found himself with a 1-1 count to the leadoff man, Hunter Miller. Miller 0 for 2 on the day.
That's 12-13.
Voorhees has retired the last 13 batters he's faced here, as that one's going to be up the middle.
Thank you.
And it'll be a single for the right fielder, Hunter Miller, as I apologize, Gage Voorhees, for jinxing you there. The second time we've done that today.
Yes, the first one was the Beaufort pitcher, so I didn't feel too bad about that. But hopefully this will just be a bump here, a minor little speed bump, and he'll get the next guy here, Anderson.
Bring up Jacob Anderson. Anderson 0 for 2 on the day.
Look how the flag is blown, too. You have to be Babe Ruth to hit one. Or Barry Bonds.
Or he's going to check on Miller at first. Overpowering fastball there from Voorhees. Evens up the count now at 1-1. Only 71 pitches here. Very good performance thus far for Gage Voorhees. He's only allowed 2 hits and struck out 5. Has not yet issued a walk, as he'll check on the runner again. Miller at first. The 1-1. One missing low and inside. Count will be 2-1 now to the left-hander, Anderson. Not quite
just
sure.
Missed there. Yeah. Voorhees
quite sure where that one missed. Voorhees
looking in, a long look in. He thought he had him, or he thought he had a strike.
definitely missed his spot there with Garcia setting up on the outside. But he comes right back, trying the swing and miss there from Anderson. The count will be full with 2 down. And have a head start for the runner Miller at first. Voorhees sets the 3-2. Just misses inside. That'll be the first walk of the day for Gage Voorhees.
Yeah, against 5 strikeouts, he's pitched really well. Now in a little bit of a jam. 2 on with 2 out. Still very manageable in terms of pitch count, as he's been so efficient.
This is going to bring up the first baseman, Aiden Driscoll Sadusky. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Has struck out once. Voorhees missing outside with the first pitch. Count will be 1-0 now. One grounded down first base line and foul. Counts even now. See a lot of left-handed batters in this USCB starting 9. Going to be grounded to Burke at second. He'll go the short distance as Garcia will step on the bag, and Gage Voorhees able to work himself out of a mini jam there as USC B leaves 2 on. Saints lead 2-0 as we head to the top half of the 7th here at Drysdale Field. Will be the heart of this Saints lineup due here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Will be Donovan Garcia, Matthew Burke, and Jaden Ward set to face Brandon Bloom, who up until last inning really has, even with last inning, pitched himself quite a good game.
He really has. 69 pitches so far, and given up the 4 hits, the 2 runs, and without that clutch 2-out single by Newland, it'd be still a scoreless tie.
Garcia with a 1-1 count here. Watches a ball off the outer half.
And it's interesting also with Bloom is that it seems like maybe this is a little bit of an outlier in terms of a performance, because his opponent's average against is 287. You'd think he would be struggling a little more, allowing more base hits, more base runners, more runs.
Well, we've seen the Saints team be very hot and cold when it comes to their bats. It seems like an all-or-nothing kind of thing, as a beautiful breaking ball on the outer half will get Garcia down looking for the first out of the inning. But the Saints team seems like feast or famine at the plate.
And that's been the story of the season, right? I mean, sometimes they put up huge, gaudy numbers, and they look like they've got it figured out offensively, and then they go into these, little offensive slumps, if you will, where they have trouble stringing hits together.
First pitch here to Matthew Burke, in for a called strike. Burke on the day is 1 for 2 with a single back a couple innings ago as he'll get on one down the line in left. That one just barely foul as Burke showing off some weight room work.
Yeah, he may be one of the hardest hit balls of the day. And again, he's still dealing with that stiff wind coming out of center field, but a line shot and just hooked it a little bit and into foul territory. But Burke looks like he's seeing the ball pretty well. Singled last time and hard hit ball that time, just foul.
Finds himself in an 0-2 hole here on the way from Bloom. This one's going to be fought off into the stands here at Drysdale Field. Bloom through 5 1/3 has allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, has walked 1 and struck out 3 as he'll miss just outside. Count's going to be 1-2 now to the Saints' second baseman. But we've seen Burke in his entire career really just be a very fundamentally sound
very
baseball
steady
player.
Exactly, in everything he does. Defensively, his approach at the plate just has that kind of even-keeled demeanor from what I can tell. That's probably why he's in the 4th spot, even though he's not necessarily one of the leading hitters on the club.
This one down the line at third. It's going to be a fair ball. Throw on to first from Tanner's in time as they'll cut down the first 2 of these Flagler batters. This will bring up the third baseman, Jaden Ward.
Yeah, nice play there by Tanner, having to go towards the foul line and backhand that. Made a strong throw, knew he was going to bounce it, and the first baseman was ready for it. Really solid play by the third baseman for the Sand Sharks.
Ward swinging at the first pitch. It's going to be grounded to the shortstop, McCown. Throw on to first is in time. 3 up and 3 down as the Saints go in order. We'll head to the top half of the 7th inning. And we are back here for the top of the 7th inning. Going to have Dave Wenda back on the play-by-play call here at Drysdale Field.
Thanks, Jordan. Josh Patterson, Jake Turner, and Julian Galassi are due up for the Sand Sharks, facing Voorhees, who's allowed just the 2 hits, no runs so far. 79 pitches on the evening. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. And again, working very quickly. Looks confident on the mound.
Yeah, he's in one heck of a rhythm here. We were talking about it earlier in the game, but when a pitcher is in a rhythm here, he can, and especially Voorhees, can be very dangerous as he just misses outside with that slider.
Count is 1-2. Patterson has one of those 2 hits back in the 2nd inning. He singled to lead off the frame. Here's the 1-2. And he offered at it. Strike 3. Little conversation with the umpire, but to no avail. And Patterson has gone on strikes.
Second time we've seen that in the last half inning, or the last inning, that the strikeout throw down to third has gone by the third baseman. That sun, now that it's starting to set, can be really difficult because it's just kind of peeking over the horizon line.
Excellent point. The batter is Jake Tanner, who's 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out.
Really love what I'm seeing from Voorhees here.
Yeah, this looks like the Voorhees of 2022 for sure. And this is the time. Well, you know, a lot of season left. If Saints can settle in, particularly with their starting pitching, and get some timely hitting. And there's another strikeout for Voorhees as he blows away Tanner. Second time he struck out Tanner in the game, and there are 2 gone for Julian Galassi.
This is a huge game. These next 3, especially the Saints, would love to get a sweep here, especially now realizing that Beaufort, or technically Saints, are in 9th place if you think about it, because even though Beaufort's ahead of them in the standings, they're not eligible for postseason play.
Right.
So a sweep here, and then some help with some help with these other PBC teams, and getting Augusta to lose a couple of games would be just huge for the Saints as a ball club.
Yeah, and remember, it all started with them taking 2 of 3 at Augusta last weekend. So the Saints are riding a 2-game winning streak and looking for more here against Beaufort. 3 games this weekend. Tomorrow, first pitch is at 2, and then at noon on Sunday. This is trouble into the gap, off the wall. And it'll be a stand-up double for Galassi with 2 outs. That's maybe the first really hard-hit ball we've seen from the Sand Sharks.
The first hard-hit ball we've really seen on the day that's made it into fair territory.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Galassi showing off the warning track power. That one just hit off the base of the wall. You have to imagine, if you don't have quite as much wind out there, if that one finds its way out of the ballpark.
It very well might. I think it was in that part of the park where it's not the red monster, so you don't have to necessarily clear that high wall in dead right field. Well, this is Wesley Ambrose. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Starting just to see a little action, a little movement down there as relievers starting to stretch out in the Saints bullpen. No real action to speak of in the Sand Sharks pen.
Saints pitching staff well rested. With the Florida Tech game on Tuesday being canceled due to weather, I know that they got out into an inter-squad match.
Oh, nice.
And got some on-field simulated game experience, but nice to keep the arms fresh here, especially in the middle of the season, to get a full week off, essentially, from playing.
That is important. You can certainly wear down over the course of a long season. So Voorhees now is behind 3 balls and no strikes with 2 outs, and now he takes a little more time. Get himself composed, and he steps on the rubber, and he's ready. There's the 3-0, and just caught the outside corner. I think the umpires have done a really nice job. Michael Parnell behind home plate. Luke Horn at first, Keith Atkinson at third. 3-1 pitch, line drive. This could be trouble. It gets down for a hit, and that's going to score the runner, Galassi. It'll be an RBI single for Wesley Ambrose, and he cuts the lead in half. It's now 2-1.
A little bit of branch work there from Ambrose, the senior. Just sticking his bat out there on the slider to the outer half. Nice piece of hitting there. Really defending the zone well, and able to just kind of poke one, find himself an area here in the outfield.
Yeah, just kind of went with the pitch, if you will, and as you said, poked it the other way into right. You know, again, Voorhees didn't look real comfortable before he threw those last couple of pitches.
13 stolen bases.
Ambrose has 13 stolen bases in 16 attempts. So I'm sure the Saints coaches are well aware of that. And they've let Voorhees and Griffin Garcia behind the plate know that they've got a potential base stealer at first. Here's the 1-1. Pumped in for a strike.
Voorhees, some guys can be really difficult to have that sort of sidestep off the mound, but Voorhees, you don't really see a dip in velocity when he comes out and does that little side step. Just a really good all-around pitcher with his mechanics.
That one in the dirt, blocked nicely by Griffin Garcia. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Looks like Steven Reese and Gabriel Partridge stretching out the legs in the bullpen for the Saints. No real throwing action.
Here's the 2-2. Runner goes, and this one sliced into left field for a base hit. The runner turns and digs for third. So runners at the corners now with 2 outs and a run already in. And Voorhees has thrown a lot of pitches all of a sudden in this inning. He's up to 98 in the game.
We're going to have a meeting here on the mound as Pelkey's going to come out.
Gives us a chance to thank some of the sponsors of Flagler Athletics, including Vested Metals. We're a customer-centric and solution-based metals supplier. UBS Financial, pursue what matters most to you for today, tomorrow, and generations to come. Sniffen and Spellman, PA, a full-service law firm representing clients statewide. The McLeod Firm, personal injury attorneys you can depend on. Taylor and Waldrop, St. Augustine Lawyers, backed by experience, and Sunshine Realty for all your real estate needs. The entire infield comes in to talk strategy here, as well as get, I'm sure, a little pitching coaching from Jeff Pelkey.
Also, this gives some of the guys in the pen time. Hopefully you don't need to use them in this inning, but it gives them some time to really get warm and give Voorhees some time just really to recenter and focus on this next batter. Has let up 3 straight hits here.
So this is Brooks Dawson. Dawson 0 for 2. He struck out and flown out.
It's a big spot here for a freshman, only making his 4th start of the season here. Finds himself against one of the best arms in the PBC, and with his team down 1 and a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, good point. See if Voorhees can just concentrate on the batter here and not worry about the 2 runners aboard, and pumps in a strike there. Evens the count on a ball and a strike.
1-1.
1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Nice pitch from Voorhees.
Voorhees doing a real good job of just really painting that outside corner the entire game. It's generated a lot of weak contact. We've seen all the real hits today for USC Beaufort going the other way.
Runner breaks from first. The throw down. Garcia to Garcia. And it was on the third base side of the bag there, or they might have had him. Donovan did a good job of not only picking that throw from his brother, but trying to swipe the tag as well. So now 2 runners in scoring position.
Good slide there from Hunter McCown, kind of swimming, keeping his inner arm, which if he left it there would have been called out, but pulling that one up.
And it's all academic as Voorhees blows away Dawson to end the threat, but the Sand Sharks get on the board. They trail 2-1. And welcome back. Well, we've got ourselves a ball game 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. It's still Bloom on the hill for the Sand Sharks. He's thrown just 80 pitches. Voorhees now up over 100, 103 for Gage, as he's still in line to get the win here, getting out of the jam with runners at second and third to end the 7th.
Both teams have fallen victim to some two-out damage. Both Bloom and Voorhees, the only runs that they have came in this game have been with 2 outs.
So the batter will be Taylor Clapp to lead things off in the Saints 7th. It's Clapp, Thomas, and Kudlinski. Clapp 0 for 2, swings at the first pitch, grounder to second, booted, and recovering is the second baseman Ambrose, and he throws just in the nick of time to get Clapp for the first out.
One of the beauties of second base, you have a lot of time there.
Yeah.
And even though he didn't make it look easy, it still goes in the book as 4-3.
Yeah, no one remembers it. This is Ashton Thomas looking for his first hit. Saints now being out-hit by the Sand Sharks, 5-4. First pitch swinging, fouls it out of play.
Would love to see the Saints maybe take a pitch here,
yeah,
a pitch or two, and see if he can get into this USC Beaufort bullpen.
Right, because they have been pretty aggressive at swinging at first pitches. Here's the 0-1, and swung on, lifted into left field. A little bit of a late break by Anderson, but he had it all the way, and there are 2 gone. That brings up Tim Kudlinski. 0 for 2 today. Ground out and a pop out. Big swing and a miss.
Kudlinski's been good all year. Solid in the field, but his bat, despite the low RBI numbers, he's just done a good job of getting on base. Has the highest on-base percentage of just about anyone in this Saints team, minus Griffin Garcia.
This one in a tough spot, and it's going to drift just foul. Oh, and 2 on Kudlinski. And here's the 0-2 offering. It's off the plate for the ball. So no one working or even moving around in the Beaufort bullpen. And you see why, as Bloom registers another 1-2-3 inning, but the Saints have the lead 2-1 as we head to the 8th. Top of the 8th inning, 2-1 Saints. And Gage Voorhees is back out on the mound, ready to throw his 104th pitch. He threw 25 in that long 7th inning where he gave up the run on 3 hits, with 2 outs after he had struck out the first 2 batters. So the Saints really working their Friday starter, their workhorse, if you will, Gage Voorhees.
Coming into a weekend, even though the bullpen has had a lot of time off, you really just want to try and keep it minimal in the arms that you're using, just because you have 2 more games in the next 3 days.
Right, and they're all real important, as have laid out pretty exhaustively here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The batter, by the way, is Hunter Miller, who's 1 for 3. And blown away by a good-looking fastball.
Some high cheese there. Some high cheese there for Gage Voorhees. What is that? 9 strikeouts.
Wow.
Today.
So that brings up the left fielder, Jacob Anderson, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. First pitch, fouled out of play. That one misses low. Voorhees with a long look in.
Gotta have that one. That's a beautiful pitch there, right on the lower part of that zone. They're saying it just missed, but the reaction Voorhees, he knows the strike zone very well.
Yeah, and it's, again, been a well-called game by Michael Parnell behind the plate, but Voorhees hoping for, and now he gets one on the outer part of the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one just got a piece, foul tipped at the plate. We'll do it again at 2-2.
Do that slider right in the kitchen there to the 2-hole guy, Jacob Anderson.
Strike 3 called, and Voorhees adding to his already season high for strikeouts. He's got 10.
Another pair of shoes. I believe that's the 3rd today for Voorhees. He's looked like Michelangelo the way he's painted the corners today.
Oh, nice one. This is Aiden Driscoll-Sadusky looking for his first hit. And takes the first pitch, strike it. Voorhees looks like he's kind of back into that rhythm that he had for much of the game. I think he might have gotten out of it a little bit in the 7th when he struggled, but now just working very quickly and gets the ball. He's ready to go, ready to throw that next pitch, and the hitters have had trouble making the adjustment.
Yeah, no, he's been on a definite roll here.
0-2 is off the plate, didn't chase.
It's a really gutsy performance here. Coming into the inning with over 100 pitches, and you're facing the top of the lineup here, and he's done very well thus far.
This one, a flare and a base hit into left for Driscoll-Sadusky, and he'll stop at first after taking a wide turn around the base. So last inning, there was a similar situation. He struck out the first 2 batters, and then he gave up 3 2-out hits and a run in the process before striking out the final batter of the side. And now he has a couple of strikeouts and gives up a 2-out base knock to Driscoll-Sadusky. Batter's Josh Patterson, who's 1 for 3. Grounded to Burke, goes the short way, and the inning is over. So Voorhees escapes another inning, and the Saints continue to lead at 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Career is 13. Okay, thank you. that sounds familiar. Okay, cool. Wow, what a good memory. Wow. Was that like a Friday night as well?
It was a Friday night.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm pretty sure I talked. It was early in the season, so I'm pretty sure we brought that up every single game.
Oh. And welcome back. Bottom of the 8th inning. Saints lead at 2-1. And Bloom still out there for the Sand Sharks. He's thrown 88 pitches. He'll deal with Griffin Garcia, Sims Owens, and Trey Newland. 9-1 and 2 due up for the Saints.
Ted Faulkner and Zach Roberts, the head coach and the pitching coach here for USC Beaufort, on the same train of thinking here as head coach Dave Barnett and Jeff Pelkey for the Saints, really trying to ride their Friday night starter and keep their bullpens fresh for the upcoming 2 games this weekend.
So now a hitter's count for Garcia at 2-0. Big swing and strike one. Yeah, good point. And still, now we're just seeing a little stirring in the Beaufort bullpen. Just saw a pitcher and a catcher get up and start to stretch. 3-1 is the count to Garcia.
Well, the USC Beaufort bullpen arms, the ERAs are looking pretty grim. Only one arm that's below a 3 ERA coming out of that pen. Not a lot of consistency, it seems, from some of their trusted arms for this Sand Sharks bullpen.
Garcia, meanwhile, works the leadoff walk and flips over the batting order. Sims Owens is back up. He's had a good day. He's 2 for 3 with a couple of stolen bases. Shows bunt, and it's a strike. He didn't pull it back.
Saints would love to get an insurance run here, make this a 2-run ball game. Yeah, hopefully more than that as we head to the top half of the 9th next inning.
And it'll be interesting to see how they play it with Voorhees. He's up to 119 pitches. You would think his day would be done, but he's pitched so well. If he can go out there and have an efficient 9th inning, as you mentioned, he can save some arms, but he's also maybe the best option. Even a tired Gage Voorhees may be the best option at this point in the 9th for the Saints. Here's the 0-1.
Garcia with a big lead as Bloom's going to check on him, but we've already seen one runner thrown out or picked off. That was Trey Newland after he hit the 2 RBI single, but Saints really looking to get out and active on the base paths here.
Garcia's a perfect 3 for 3 on the season in stolen bases, and he breaks for second, and the catcher lost it in the transition.
Another really good jump for Garcia as well.
So now nobody out, runner at second base. Good opportunity to hope perhaps plate that insurance run.
Now the question is, we saw Owens offering bunt here. Do you try and sacrifice him over to third? Definitely an option here.
The corner infielders creep in onto the turf. This one popped up foul, and it'll drift just out of play. So new life for Sims Owens. So I guess that answered the question. Looks like he's swinging away.
Wynn doing a really good job there.
Yeah.
Because it looked like off the bat that was just going to be a pop out in foul territory.
Yep.
But as you can still see, a very strong wind coming in from center field, sending that one over our concession stand here, which is a good 10, 15 feet over the foul or past the out of play sort of area.
So a little meeting at the mound here as they want to get things straight with the leadoff hitter of the Saints. Gives us a chance to thank more of the sponsors of Flagler Athletics, including Stellar Group, taking solutions further. St. John's Family Funeral Home and Crematory, services unique as life. St. Augustine Record, covering the ancient city and St. John's County since 1894. And St. Augustine Marina for all your boating and fishing needs. So set for the 1-2 pitch. Owens spoiled it.
Yeah, that was a good pitch there from Bloom on the outer half. Owens doing a good job, just an offensive swing to foul that one off, stay alive, and try and get something to hit here and find a gap maybe and bring Garcia around from second.
Another 1-2 pitch, and that caught the inner half anyway, and Owens is frozen on the strikeout.
That's a really good pitch there. Owens, it looked like from our angle that one was really inside, but Owens stands so close to that plate. He really crowds that the plate from that left-hander's batter's box, so can't really fault the umpire for making the correct call there on a beautiful breaking ball.
This is Trey Newland, who had the big hit back in the 5th inning, the 2-run single that gave the Saints the lead they still enjoy.
Big hole with the second baseman playing a bit of a shift here, but also checking on Garcia at second, but a big hole in between first and second base.
A 1 pitch is in for a strike. Swing and a miss, and Newland is retired on a beautiful pitch from Brandon Bloom.
Bloom really throws one heck of a curveball. Seen him on that previous at-bat with Owens freeze him on the inner half with it, and then just in the dirt, or the artificial turf here at Drysdale Field, getting Newland to go fishing down low.
So that brings up Donovan Garcia, trying to change places with his brother. And a line drive, and it's going to get down for a hit. They'll send the runner, and Griffin is in with that all-important insurance run as the ball bounces away. And Donovan Garcia picks up that key hit, driving in his brother.
Some twin magic there. Mustache man Garcia really getting on one, bringing his brother around to score, but love to see that. If he's been welcome addition back to the Saints lineup, in all honesty, he is one of the guys who can hit for extra bases, which is something the Saints team has struggled with all year. Just a lot of singles, but Garcia's been bringing a bit of pop to the Saints lineup.
Yeah, it's nice to see. So the Saints lead at 3-1 now. The batter is Matthew Burke. Burke is 1 for 3. And that's off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wind still blowing hard now, 12 miles an hour out of the southeast, which means it's coming right at the batter. Bloom taking his time, and here's one driven to left, but Anderson is there to squeeze it for the third out, but the Saints pick up that all-important insurance run and lead it 3-1. Top of the ninth, Saints lead at 3-1, and guess who's back out? Gage Voorhees is on the hill to try to nail this down and notch a complete game. He had a couple of complete games a season ago when he led the team in that category, as well as wins, earned run average, innings pitched, and strikeouts. This is his 120th pitch, and he gets Jake Tanner to swing over top of it.
Pinch hitter.
Oh, excuse me, it's not Tanner, pinch hitter.
I believe that's Robbie Brown, number 10, the outfielder, taking over in the batter's box here. Finds himself behind the count now, 1-2. Voorhees with a gutsy performance.
Oh, it's huge, and again, not to have a lot of run support, and that happens when you're a Friday starter, but just enough. And even when he got into some trouble and gave up that run with 2 outs in the 7th, he's knuckled back down. 1-2 is off the plate. Well, the Sand Sharks are going to make him earn it, though. 2-2 pitch. And it's in there, strike 3. His 11th strikeout of the game. His career high is 13. That is a season high for him.
Another pair of shoes in the closet for him. On that outside corner, he keeps painting that outside corner. Love to see it from the Saints right-hander.
So that brings up Julian Galassi, who has doubled and scored in this game. He's 1 for 3. Check swing. It's a strike anyway. And there's another strike. He's working very quickly.
Great strike percentage, too, as well. 124 pitches prior to the at-bat, 82 of them strikes, 66%.
Tough ground ball and a beautiful play by Jaden Ward on the in-between hop. And there are now 2 gone here in the 9th.
Yeah, that's a really, really tough play, especially off turf, because that third bounce always kind of a rocket up. But Jaden Ward, the veteran at third base now, has fielded quite a few for the Saints and able to make a fantastic play to get the second out of this all-important 9th inning.
First pitch swinging from Ambrose, and this should do it. It's taken at first base by Clapp, and the Saints win it 3-1. Voorhees improves to 1-2 on the season. Bloom drops to 2-4 with the loss. And so the Saints improve overall to 9-21, now 5-11 in the league. Beaufort drops to 5-14, so there's a little difference in games played there, but an important win for the Flagler Saints. And Jordan, it was really the Gage Voorhees show. I mean, you said gutsy performance. I think that's a perfect way to say it.
We don't really have a player of the game award or anything to give out to someone, but if we did have one, it'd go to Gage Voorhees. 11 strikeouts, 129 pitches.
Wow.
And only allowing 1 run. That is something you love to see. Hopefully it can be a spark for this rest of this weekend for the Saints, because this is a huge series, as we've said ad nauseum during this game.
Well, be back with us tomorrow at 2 o'clock. These teams get together again. First pitch is, again, 2 p.m. tomorrow here on the Peach Belt Conference Network. So for my partner, Jordan Fauci, our sports information director, John Jordan, and our producer, Laurel Plexico, I'm Dave Wenda. Saints win it 3-1. Good night, everybody.